You know you are meant for more, a higher ceiling, and a floor that is strong enough to hold it. That's your belief system talking, and this is the subconscious work, the 95% that makes growth feel inevitable. It works in any business, any facet of life. We built you a free 3-minute quiz to show you where the gaps are and what is possible for you. It's fast, it's honest, it's fun, and it might surprise you. If you already know that Outspoken is for you, join us. The next cohort kicks off in August. Both links are in the show notes. Welcome to the Own Your Choices, Own Your Life podcast. You've landed in the right place to learn how to own your story, release subconscious beliefs, rewire your mind, and step into the impact you know you're here to create. Through Outspoken Publishing and NLP certifications, we share the tools and subconscious shifts that expand your voice, your message, your confidence, and your leadership. I am your host, Marsha Vanwynsberghe, NLP trainer, speaker, author, and publisher. I am thrilled you are here. Let's get started. What if I told you that the problem is never the problem? I know that that feels wild, and I probably was resistant to this when I heard this years ago, when we were in the middle of dealing with everything within our family, and it was very chaotic. And I remember hearing, it is your reaction to the problem that is the problem. Well, I was, of course, defensive. And if you are ever anybody who is super reactive, then you understand what I mean. When you learn how to shift that and come from a space of, responding versus reacting, you get to see the problems differently. And this takes practice. It really does. But I do want to share a live example that happened because I was in this space. This is something that I do share inside of Outspoken. We do share the concepts of, the problem is not the problem. It's our perception of the problem. And we're still only really taking in a fraction of information. Like we're taking in less than 0.0004% of the information that is coming at us all day long, which means we're really filtering the information and training our subconscious to see what we want to see. We're training what we're used to seeing until we rewire that in the moment. And so I was in a space, and I have been in this space of working on my second solo book. Now, doing this while also running 3 different businesses, which I'm beyond grateful to do. And I know some people would say that's crazy. It does have a touch of crazy in it. And at the same time, it's also like, I feel like this is exactly what we're supposed to do. So we continue to build support and team. And yeah, for now, this feels like the right direction. Yet writing a book and writing a solo book at the same time feels nuts. So the thing I want to tell you about book writing, 82% of people want to write a book, less than 1% do. It's not strategy why people don't get the book written. It is the stories that we tell ourselves. The problem is not the problem. And the funny thing here is I also use my own learning design way of I'm an auditory learner. So I built the Unbothered Mastermind, which is literally an unbothered program. There are 10 letters in Unbothered. It is a structured system to support you in how to lead a more unbothered life, which is more helpful than you'll probably ever realize until you've done it. So the content exists. I have the program mapped out. I've actually built the program. I've taught the program. I've lived the work. I live the work nonstop. And I know that this book is meant to help people. It is meant to help people to know how to navigate when we feel like this problem is such a big problem and we can't do the things that we're here to do. And so what I found myself saying was, how am I going to do this? When am I going to make this writing happen? What is this going to cost me? Like, can I do this while I'm still growing, scaling, holding, supporting the businesses? Where am I going to find the space? What is it going to cost me? What do I have to sacrifice in my business or in my own health? like really at the subconscious core of it, it was going to cost me something to do this. And so then what I did next, which maybe you can relate, maybe you've done this before, but I went, oh my gosh, Marsha, you've already written a solo book. You wrote it when life was absolutely chaotic and you were working a full-time job. If you did it then, you can do it now. And you know what? I'm being so real with you. I thought that was inspiring myself and I thought that was encouraging me. But instead, it's actually, you know what it is? It's definitely not motivational. I realized it when I could zoom out and see it. That's actually shame. And shame is not a motivation. It is not. Have you ever shamed yourself to get back to the gym? Have you ever shamed yourself to change your eating? It does not work. It does not work at all. And I felt myself, I needed this pause, but I couldn't get my head out of it. I literally couldn't get my head to create a change because I kept doing this. And it, with that shame, shame quiets you and it's a contraction and it keeps you small. And that's not about how you write a book and expand. That is not the energy. And you know who helped me with this? It was a client. It was a client inside of Outspoken. So with Outspoken, we have like regular office hours. They're called Outspoken Essential Calls. And I open those calls for anyone who has ever been in the cohorts before. It is a call once a month. It's a chance to come in, practice. And the cool thing is sometimes I have a master practitioner or somebody who's brand new to Outspoken. It's an opportunity to practice the tools. And one of the clients there practiced a technique called prime concerns on me because I know, you know what's hard is when you know the answers. I know that the problem is not about writing the book. I know that, but I couldn't see what the problem was. That's the presenting problem. We all have a presenting problem. And so let me give you an example. Maybe your presenting problem is I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have support. Like that's the presenting problem. But underneath of it, I was adding so much meaning about what is this, like, what's this book going to cost me? What's the time? What's the process? What's it going to cost me to do it? What am I going to have to sacrifice to build it? And that's a completely different issue. And I realized that I actually had to get to the root of that and actually rewrite it. So I became the client, right? I became the client. And it was really, really cool. This client took me through a technique called prime concerns, where really it's asking questions that confuses the subconscious mind so that you're like, okay, can't quite follow. And all of a sudden you start to see possibilities. See, this is what NLP does, neuro linguistic programming. You have, if you can imagine, a really tight ball of yarn. This is us as humans. We hold on to our limiting decisions or our limiting beliefs. We hold on to this because we believe that like this is how it works for us. And it might seem silly because it's like, why would I believe that when I actually want that? It's because this is safe, predictable, and familiar. I know what this feels like. I know what these results are. And because I know that, if I allow myself to think differently, I don't know what that is. So it doesn't feel safe, predictable, and familiar. So when the client took me through this technique, we were actually rewiring in the moment, releasing what I thought the belief was. And as we rewired it, my thinking opened and I was like, oh, I see it now. I see it now. I understand. Right? Nothing changed. My calendar didn't change. In fact, I actually ended up with another proposal for a author to support. Like business actually expanded. And I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? I'm like, no, it's not about the how. It's about how I was choosing to see the situation. And that's internal representation. How you see your circumstances is actually more important than your circumstances. Let me say that again. How you see your circumstances is more important than your actual circumstances. So when this happened, it opened it up, it loosened the boundary of the problem. I could see what the underlying beliefs were and how it didn't have anything to do with the book. It was the fear of what it was going to cost me to do this. So I'm just going to give you this example. Like think of, I can't do this technique in a podcast because it needs to be specific, but I want you to ask yourself a question. Like, what do you believe the problem is? What is a problem that you are like just nagging, right? Something that's nagging on repeat for you. What do you believe the problem is? And what are you making the problem mean? And then what do you believe it's going to cost you? So say, for example, it's like you want to get in better shape or you want to build your business. Okay, well, then I've got to get to the gym. What is that going to cost me? Is it going to time's going to come from somewhere else? Listen to the language that comes up. Listen to the words that you're saying. And then ask yourself, if that wasn't the problem, what else could be going on? Keep asking, what would I have to believe for this to be different? The version of me who already has that, what does she believe? And just keep asking yourself questions. Please don't force it. It's not a conscious answer. It is like just trying to loosen up the boundary of the problem. Be curious. Curiosity is huge because it allows you to see things differently. And it actually gives your subconscious mind somewhere else to go. It allows it to look to see what is possible. And that's what this work can do. So I got to experience it firsthand. One of my top values is ripple effect. So this was really freaking cool because this client helped me to shift in the moment. And you know what happened for her, of course, because like think of what happened for her. She was like, wow, this was really cool. I could take this technique, I can use it on you. And she built confidence in herself. And that's what we're doing. We are training and building practitioners who can take this work and go out and help others and actually still be a client at the same time, right? Because this is the piece of it. What would happen in your life if the problem was not the problem? What would happen if you could see your circumstances differently? What would happen if you could unlock the version of you who could go after and create what you want to create? What would happen? I would love to know. So I just wanted to share this quick episode with you because it really did land for me and it was such a cool thing to experience. And yes, I am working on my second solo book, Unbothered, and I'm really proud of it. The framework's there. We just got to get a little bit more personal and vulnerable in some of these stories and continue to tap into the version of myself that it's already done. That's what you want to do. You want to keep tapping into that version of yourself who has already found the solution, who has already figured it out, who's already shown up in that energy, who has already created the results because it is possible for you. Let me know how this lands. If this speaks to you and you actually want to know how to do this work, this is the last week to join Outspoken. This is the 8th cohort and it ends in January. Next year, there's going to be some big changes coming regarding Outspoken. And I'm working with another whole piece of what we're doing. I'm getting my ICF, my PCC, which is, you might be saying, what's she talking about? International Coaching Federation. I am like building out something with the support of incredible people that I'm really, really proud of. And this program is changing a lot in the process. And from that, there's a possibility that the people who get the first access to this shift and change in the program are the people who are already Outspoken NLP certified. So that's all I can say for now. I will keep you posted. If you want to join us or you want to have a conversation, the link is in the show notes. This is the last week to join. I hope this supports you. And I hope that you can see that the problem is never the problem. I'm sending you so much love and encouragement. And I want you to know that whatever you desire, whatever you want to create, it is available for you. It's all about becoming the version of you who can hold what you're creating. The identity goes first. Have an incredible day. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Own Your Choices, Own Your Life. I invite you to tag me on social media with your takeaways or share it with a friend. If you feel called, please leave a 5-star review and I would be forever grateful. Until next time, remember, when you own your choices, you own your life.